There is a disease in modern society, and this disease affects many, many people, right? It might even affect the majority of people. And it's a disease that most of you know as hustle culture. Or to put it another way, it's the disease of needing to be productive or feeling that you need to be productive all the time. And if you yourself are a victim of this hustle culture, you might be asking yourself, what's so bad about being productive all the time, right? What's so bad about working all the time and developing and improving and, building on my skills? And I just want to clarify that I'm not putting down or disparaging anyone who, enjoys to work or even work itself or even being productive. What I am calling into question is how we relate to productivity and how we relate to ourselves and where we see ourselves in that realm. What I mean by that is in our society, we have put such an emphasis on work and such an emphasis on productivity that it really feels like the message that we're given is if you're not productive or if you're not working, you're basically useless. You're basically, not a productive member of society. And a lot of the time, this message is unconscious, right? A lot of the time, it's not said out loud. Sometimes it is said out loud, right? By maybe your parents or by your coworkers or by your bosses. But most of the time, it's an energetic sense. It's an energetic feeling. And if you've ever been in any sort of high pressure, whether it's school or work environment, then you know what I'm talking about. The most insidious thing about being on all the time, right? Working all the time, feeling like you need to be productive all the time is an unconscious, degrading level of self-respect that you have for yourself. What I mean by that is that you start to devolve in the relationship that you have with yourself, right? Because again, it goes back to tying your self-worth into, being productive. And if you are watching a video like this, I am assuming that you have felt this at some point or another in your life. This erosion of self-trust is very insidious because, the messaging from the world and the messaging from society is that working as much as you can is a good thing, right? So you're getting two conflicting messages, right? One internally, telling you to maybe stop or take a break or, just to take it easier. And then you have all the influences from outside telling you that you need to keep going, right? That you're doing good by being productive and working, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And your body has a way of sensing what is right for you and, telling you what it needs. But then it's being constantly overridden by all of, again, the external influences and everything that other people around you and society tells you. That's why we have this epidemic of burnout, right? If you've noticed in the news or even in the people around you, more and more people are feeling this sensation of burning out, right? The feeling of being pushed to one's mental and physical breaking point. The saddest thing about this is that we've all just accepted it, right? We've all just accepted it as a society that in order to succeed, right? In order to make it in this world, whatever that means, you need to work your tail off, right? You need to work your ass off and you need to work as hard as you can and then some, right? As hard as you can and then some more on top of that. And it's one of the biggest lies in this world is that our self-worth is tied to our production, right? Our self-worth is tied to how productive we can be and how hard we can work. Of course, that's a complete lie because your self-worth is completely intrinsic, right? You are worthy whether you work or not, whether you, do certain things that are deemed productive in society or not, right? The fact that you are alive means that you are worthy. I remember there were periods in my life, many, many years, that everything that I did was in the name of productivity, right? Everything that I did was in the name of, developing myself and acquiring skills and making money. And if I wasn't being productive in one form or another, that means I was not doing enough. It meant I was doing something wrong. For a long time, I was the victim of the hustle culture mindset. And it made me into a shell of a human because I would not even give myself the time of day to go take a walk outside, right? Go smell the roses, go honestly just enjoy life, because I felt that everything outside of work and everything outside of being productive was a waste of my time. And one thing that I can say looking back on that time in my life is just how misguided and just how wrong I was about everything. And that how much of the pressure that I put on myself to be productive was actually counterproductive, right? Was actually getting me more stressed out, more anxious, and more, in a bad mood than if I just didn't have that pressure on me. And what hustle culture does is it robs you of the space for quietness. It robs you of the space of self-reflection. And that's what's needed for self-transformation, is to sit with yourself and not do anything. And I think the most unfortunate thing in this society, in this modern world, is just how much of a luxury that is not doing anything. The system is set up in a way where that's barely possible for a lot of people because it's so hand to mouth, right? So many people are living so close to the poverty line. There's an insane stat that more than half of Americans are one paycheck away from not being able to pay their rent, right? What a scary thought. And this is exactly how the system perpetuates itself, right? Is keeping people in such a scarce situation through employment and through inequality that the majority of people are not given the opportunity to transform, right? To change and to evolve consciously. And that's exactly what needs to change. In closing, I'd like for you to reflect on your relationship with work, but specifically your relationship with productivity, and whether or not you can notice or see some of the unconscious beliefs that you might hold around that as it relates to your own self-worth. I know for me personally, the most productive I've been have been the times where I've done the least amount of work externally. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this discussion. Whether you agree, whether you disagree, I'd love to hear your thoughts below. And of course, I will talk to you soon. Peace.